I'm starting out by showing you all the supplies that I'm going to use for this design. We have these new flowers I haven't used before, the lapidum, and we have some white mums, beautiful red roses. I have my ribbon and my wording that's gonna go on this clear balloon, some extra 5-inch balloons, and baby's breath. That's the first bouquet. Here are the containers we're going to use to make them on. Then you have these 2 shades of purple roses. We have beautiful blue mums, our wording as well. And this is the orb balloon that I've already prepped, some sticks and clear wrapping paper, balloons to go with that color scheme, some ribbon, a hand pump, and our floral foam right here. This is the wet foam that we use for fresh flowers. So this is they're called hat containers. So I have this size that I'm going to use, and I'm going to size my floral foam to fit the container. I want it the full depth so that the flowers can do well, especially with the design I'm going to use. So I'm just adjusting the size for each one, and I have sharp knife just to cut through to figure out the size. You'll have to bear with me, right? I've never done this before, but you'll learn a lot from this video because I'll show you the methods, how I change things up so that things are done easier for you. So you'll see me trying to adjust this first floral foam in here, and I end up with 3 pieces. So with the second one, I end up changing things up a little bit just to get it where I don't have as many pieces, and of course the flowers are more sturdy. So I'm just playing a puzzle here, trying to figure out how I want it. I have used square containers in the past, and those are perfect because your floral foam is square, so it just fits right in, and you just cut across and cut the size you want. But with this, it's different. So I have this, and I have the 2 pieces. I'm just trimming the sides just to give it that arch for the circle that I'm looking for, or the cylinder, and it fits right in. So those that work perfect, and I'm going to use that for the other basket. Now I'm gonna get my water, soak those up, clean up that space so we can work on this balloon. When you buy these bobo balloons, they come flat as I was holding it. Our goal is to make it look like the one that's on the table, so wrinkly and stretched out. You could inflate the bobo balloon as you have it, but this is the size you're gonna get. If you want it bigger, these are very stretchy, but you have to stretch it out to get it a bigger size. Another thing is you have to stretch it evenly. If you don't stretch all around the balloon, you're not gonna have a perfect sphere. So you want to work around, stretch, and then stretch the middle as well. This is not the most fun part to do, but I inflate again to see my size, and you can see it's twice the size I had. You have to be careful also as you inflate, because you know you already stretched it out, so it's not as firm as it was before. It's still pretty firm, but if you overinflate, obviously it pops. So I'm just working it again, stretching it out, and that's what I have right there. Now I take my scissors to shorten the tail or the neck of that balloon, because we're going to fill this balloon with 5-inch balloons. Using my chopstick, I insert the 5-inch while holding the neck of the bobo balloon. I inflate the 5-inch balloon, and I make sure I pull all the way out so that I'm tying it as close as possible to the balloon without tying the neck of the bobo balloon. So you're not inflating the bobo balloon, you're just inflating your 5-inch bobo balloon while securing it so that it doesn't fall into the bobo balloon you're securing the neck of the bobo balloon. And I'm gonna repeat that again so you can see. So with your chopstick, insert that, hold both necks, inflate the 5-inch, pull onto the 5-inch and make a knot, and clip off the end or cut off the neck so you don't see those necks hanging out when you inflate your 5-inch balloon. So you're gonna keep repeating this process until you don't have enough space to hold any more of your 5-inch balloons. Now don't forget to cut off those necks once you tie. If you let it go, it'll be harder for you to fetch that balloon. So tie, making sure you don't tie that neck of the bobo balloon. You still want that loose. Now I don't have any more room. I have 4 in there, and I'm gonna inflate my bobo balloon. But before I inflate the bobo balloon, I want to secure this in place. So I'm gonna put that in, hold it on the side, take that out, put my hand pump into the neck of the bobo balloon while still holding my other balloon in place. And I'm prepping my fishing line now so that I don't have to cut that when it's time to tie, because you don't have much time. So now I inflate to where I have some room, and you can see the others we inflated moving. Then I'm gonna put my pump into that black 5-inch that we put and inflate that, and then grab the neck of the 5-inch and tie that 5-inch. You can let go at this point. It's gonna deflate your bobo balloon, but we already have our 5-inch in and we're gonna tie. That makes you add extra balloons to the design. So now once that is tied and cut the end off, then you're going to now inflate your bobo balloon, and you have all your 5-inch balloons in place. So my mom she can't wait to watch this video because she didn't see me do this, but she didn't know how I got the 5-inch balloons in, and she was saying when I make the video she cannot wait to watch it. So to tie, you want to twist the neck of that bobo balloon first so no air comes out. These let air out easily, so you want to make sure, because of the material, it's not as stretchy as your regular balloon. It's not as like the rubber, so it doesn't tie well on itself. It's just like more plastic, so you want to really secure that balloon. The last thing you want is doing this, and by the time you have to deliver it to your client and you've lost that circle. So next we have these sticks to secure them in place. They come with a base for that balloon, so we're going to attach that base onto the bobo balloon, making sure it's nice and secure. You have to watch the other one because I changed my method on the other one a little bit. So I'm straightening that out so that it's time to put it onto my floral arrangement, it stays nice and secure. So I'm making that adjustment. I put that on. Now it's time for the wording. I used my Cricut to design this, cut it out, got it all prepped, and I'm going to use my tape that I always use. You've seen me use this method with just regular tape for my transfer tape so that it's not as sticky. And I have to put this on the balloon. You want to get all those words on. I was a bit nervous trying to do this part because I didn't know how well it'll come off, especially with that tape, but it worked out well. You want to start in the middle so that because it's harder with a circle trying to put something flat. So we start in the middle, work our way around, and I did not tape down the happy as of yet. I'm taking off the other two words, the birthday and the birthday girl's name first. Then I'm going to adjust my happy. When it gets to the happy, you have to be careful because your tape is a little bit, it sticks real well. So you just have to make sure you're adjusting your letters well, especially being cursive as well. It's hard. So as I'm working on the Y of the happy, my H accidentally sticks onto the word, and it's hard to adjust, but I get that on there and I'm able to pretty much take all that off. So I'm making sure it's straight and aligned and goes with the arch of the balloon. Another thing you have to remember is you're putting this in the middle of the balloon. This balloon has a seam in the middle all around. You know, when it was flat, you could see around the edge of the balloon, there's a seam. So once you inflate it and you have to put this, make sure you align it. You can kind of see the seam when I have it down right there on the side, but you want to make sure you're putting it on the face that doesn't have the seam. So be careful with that. So now I have my other balloon that I prepped. This time I'm not cutting the neck. I told you I would correct certain things as I go. I just folded the neck like a collar so that I have more neck to work with when I'm done with everything and I'm not struggling to tie the neck. So I can pull that neck and just tie it how I tie a knot on a regular balloon. So same thing, inserting the balloons, that method is all the same. Pulling the neck out so that you tie it as close as possible to the balloon you have inside and clipping it. But this time we have a longer neck for the bobo balloon to help us at the end to tie easily. So I'm still fitting as many balloons as I can. We're on to our fifth one. I did 5 on each one here. So I inflate the bobo, get the pump onto the smaller balloon, inflate that. Of course, the bobo loses some air, which is fine. We have all 5 in. We're happy. We can inflate our bobo balloon now to size. Hopefully it doesn't pop. Making sure it's the same size as the other. If you look well, you can see the seam. And now is where I'm able to release that collar that I tied and just pull that nice and tight. And that helps me also have a bit longer of a neck to wrap around that base of the stick so that I can attach it easier to my floral arrangement. I reinforce with fishing line so that I can use the fishing line to wrap around that base as well to be able to tie it. I'm trying to figure out if that seam shows because I don't really know if you understand what I mean by the seam on that balloon, but just keep watching. When I work on putting on the letters, you might be able to see it better once it's on the table flat and I'm working with the words. So that's all on now for our letters. The problem I had with these letters is the purple had a little bit of a shimmer to it. So it didn't stick as well to my transfer tape, but it was very sticky on the other side. This time I decided to cut out the happy part and put that first. You can see the seam going right on that one. I didn't actually align it as well as I should have in the middle, but you can see that line splitting that bobo balloon in half. So the happy is on and we have the birthday and the name of the birthday girl there. So you see my seam is actually not aligned, or you want to make sure you align yours when you do that. But it turned out okay. It wasn't noticeable because it was still on the front end of the balloon. But if it was, the word should have been more to the left as you're watching. You probably figured that out. So now I'm aligning the rest of the words and it sticks. See, I can't take that off anymore to adjust it. So you just want to be careful, think about it, double think before you start sticking the word on so that it stays in place. But there we have this one, got on real well, came off real smooth, and I'm glad I separated that happy from the balloon. And there you have it. That's our second one done. Now we are going to move on to prepping all of our flowers. But first I want to measure the height that I need for this. So I'm clipping off some ends, trying to make sure the height works with the flowers. Depending on how tall the flowers are gonna be, that's about the same height. I'm putting the bits that I cut from the first one to adjust for the second. So now with our hat, I'm cleaning off the excess floral foam, the powdery green stuff that got onto because we want it to be nice and clean. With this wrapping paper, you just have a clear wrapping paper. You're gonna cut the size that'll fit the full box and extend up above it. So we need 2 pieces, and since I pretty much have more than enough, we're just gonna use the other bigger piece as well. We're not gonna have to cut that. So my floral foam has been soaking. I'm going to transfer with some gloves because I don't like touching this with my hands. Transfer as it drips off, put that onto my clear tape. Trust me, this is the easier way to do it than putting that clear plastic into your box and trying to put this in there. But I'm looking for my angle. Remember, I curved the side so that it fits better in the box. So I'm putting the puzzle back together how it was, taking off my gloves so I can handle the plastic. You're just gonna gather that like a nice bouquet. Gather all the plastic to the center of your floral foam and lift it and just drop it in the hat. So there you go. Easy. If you were to put this plastic, the clear wrapping paper first in the box, it would be so hard to get the floral foam in there. So I'm repeating the same thing with my other floral foam. Remember, this was 3 pieces. I put the smaller piece on the bottom so that it's not as significant because we need more for the flowers stems to stick in. So same thing here. So that's done. I forgot to tell you guys, when you're soaking your floral foam, once you put your flower treatment in the water, just put your floral foam in the water. Don't push down on it. Sometimes you might be tempted to push down to help the floral foam soak. No, just put that ahead of time and then leave it be. Let it soak on its own. Otherwise, you're not going to get enough water through that floral foam. Now I cut off the excess wrapping paper, and now it's time for me to start prepping my flowers and prepping my ribbon and everything else that I need to use for this arrangement. So I use my table, my baking turntable, to help with arranging all the flowers because it makes the process so much easier. I'm adding water there to the rest of it so that it soaks more and it waters the plants more. I actually purchased these flowers and I didn't put them in water. So one of them is a little sad, but it perks up the next morning, and you see the pictures at the end. So I'm prepping these beautiful purple roses by taking off all the leaves because you don't want those leaves soaking in the floral foam. You just want the stem. So I'm seeing as far how much I can take off, some of them, pretty much all of them, and taking off some of the bottom leaves that are wilted or dry. So that's what I'm prepping right here, just pulling off those stems and arranging them. So now I'm looking for the height, how tall I'm gonna make that first rose in the middle. So I'm working my way from the middle and out on this design. So that's what I have. Next tip, you want to cut all your stems at an angle. It helps it soak more the water better in the bouquet than when you cut across. So you have better nutrients to the stem, to the flowers when you cut diagonally instead of straight across. So we're just going with the 3 around and working our way just all around the full florals. Now it was hard for me to find purple flowers. Funny enough, I went to Sam's Club and I ended up at Trader Joe's, and it's so funny. I called one of the stores. They said, yes, we have purple, but it's more of a lavender. And I said, perfect. And I drove all the way to the store, stood around where the roses were, could not find it. So I went to the counter where the lady was prepping all the florist was prepping all the flowers. And she said, yes, we have them. They're in the back. So I'm waiting for her to bring out this bouquet as they usually have them in a bouquet. She brings me one beautiful, gorgeous stem of a lavender rose. And I thought, okay, this is not going to be good because it's going to be expensive. And of course, one was $3 and something cents. So I thought, okay, this is not what I want. I actually just need a full bouquet. So then I had to drive to Trader Joe's, and thankfully they had 2 shades of this purple, and the girl likes purple. They didn't specify what shade of purple, so I figured we can mix this up and it'll work well with the balloons and the other shade of purple on the words. They wanted purple and blue, so I went with the mums in this vibrant blue, and of course it goes with my blue for my Vitalitex balloon. So that is inside the orb balloon. You can see that on the right. So I put enough roses, and I'm going back in to spread out these mums so they're somewhat even around the bouquet. And I didn't put too many. I left room for these mums because you don't want to overfill if you have more than one flower. You want to give room for others, and you can always come back and add if you feel like you want to add to other spaces. So that's what I'm working on. Again, that turn this, I don't know what it's called for the baking to decorate, but that helps a lot to spin things around so you're not rubbing that box along the table or moving all around the place trying to set that up. So that is that. I love how the colors look. You'll have to tell me in the comments which of the bouquets you like better. I like the colors on this one. Looks really great. The second one, the design for me just looks fabulous. It's just hard for me to pick. Now, to add a little more airiness to this design, I went with Baby's Breath. I love Baby's Breath. You've seen me work with it in the past, and I just like that airiness that it gives. I've used this in the past for pink roses, the pink rose bouquet, and I've also used it with other colors. So I'll see if I can find those. I'll link those videos in the description so you can see it. But those were on a square box that I covered with some wrapping paper with floral designs on it. So I'll link that below. If this is your first time tuning in, please consider subscribing. We take you along our journey as we decorate for events, create different designs for people. We do florals, balloons, full decor videos, and also participate every now and then in bridal shows. So that is what we do. So don't forget to click that subscribe button and continue enjoying more videos. And now I decide to add some ribbon to hold that bobo balloon in place. So I'm measuring enough that will give me to tie at the very top and have some hanging on the side. So we just measure that cut and then cut that piece in half. We're gonna attach it to both sides with some hot glue. You want to attach it to the side of the box that is not, so you see how our happy birthday is facing forward. You want to put them on both sides so that your ribbon is not covering your words when you do tie it. So keep that in mind. So I'm just gonna adjust this. Hopefully, yeah, the glue is dry by now. It dries pretty quick, and you're gluing onto the box, not onto your clear wrapping paper that's inside. So that's the first one close to being done there, and I'll give you a quick view of our second one here shortly. So that one is pretty much done, and I'm adding more flowers in the middle there to fill a couple of gaps that are there, and we're all done. in order for me to hide where I tied the center, that piece that's supporting the orb balloon, I decided to just put a little bow there, and of course cut the bow at an angle so that it looks a lot neater. And later on I put some glue to just hold that bow in place so it doesn't fall apart. I do decide here to tie another ribbon from the back just for extra security, and with this one I just secure that back ribbon to the bow at the top. This just lifts that balloon up a little bit more so that it doesn't plop over. So there we have it. We are pretty much done with that piece. Tell me what you think in the description below. For those of you who are already subscribed, a big thank you once again. I really appreciate you guys. Now we're moving on to our second one. This time we're going to tape our ribbon first so that we're not trying to move flowers around to find it and trying to put the ribbon onto something else. So I'm wrapping it around so that it stays still while I twist things around to put all the flowers. And the other ribbon I didn't cut because I don't yet know how long of a ribbon I will need. So again, making adjustments to see how tall I want the rose. I'm clipping more, and then here we go, getting everything nice and arranged. And we're working on the flowers. This one's gonna be a lot sped up, a lot faster, because you've already seen me do the method and I don't want to be repetitive. So here we go. You're arranging your roses in such a way that it curves around. That's the design you want to go. So the outer roses the stems are cut shorter so that it fits closer to your box, that round box, instead of the top. So you see me just arching. Those stems are shorter because they fit shorter to create kind of a dome shape above I keep forgetting the word to say for that box. So above your box you want a dome shape of flowers. So those are all the roses. Working on putting a couple more. You can still see gaps, which is perfectly fine. You do want gaps because you're gonna go in to give room for the mums to also be housed. So the mums are there. We're cutting. Another thing with these mums, the stems are extremely thick. They're twice the thickness of those roses. So you need more room to really fit them in, and they're pretty strong and thick. But I love the colors on this as well. And I think it was great for me to pick that new greenery to add to this instead of using baby's breath, because the mum's already white. I think the green just helped make this look beautiful. At first, it kind of made me think about Christmas, you know, the red, white, and that green. But then with the balloons on top and the black balloons, I thought this was perfect. My friend who ordered this told me that the girl who wants this, she likes black and red. But of course, I didn't find any black flowers to add to the design, and I thought this was gonna be just fine. Now I'm fitting on the greenery, and we're pretty much wrapping up this design and the video. Again, I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to click the notification bell once you subscribe, and comment below any other videos you want to watch. If you're new, don't forget to check out the other videos. I appreciate you guys so much. You'll have the pictures that are coming up soon. Again, this design, I let the greenery flow out a little more compared to my baby's breath on that left side. I thought it would give it just an elegant, nice look, just something different rather than have it all skimmed flat with our little domes. So we're securing this one as well, and we are pretty much done. Don't forget to let me know which one you like better. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching.